The first day of the new year, Chelsea welcomed the entire footballing world with a huge shock. We had heard rumors about, friction, an issue behind the scene, but we never thought that statement would be released on the first day of the new year. And that's the fact that ENZO MARESCA has parted ways, has been fired, has left his role, whichever one you decide to choose. The fact is, ENZO MARESCA no longer the head coach of Chelsea. What happened? How did it go wrong? So many rumors around. Some says it doesn't have anything to do with results on the field of play. It was fallout behind the scene. Some said the players did not want him again. Some said it was too tough on the players. So many rumors going around. But we're here to talk about what happened, what went wrong for MARESCA, a man who was practically the best coach in the whole world in July, is jobless in January.
Wow.
What has gone wrong at Chelsea? What went wrong with MARESCA? And the results that bad, still fifth on the table. There's still a shot for top 4. He's still in the Champions League. He still can't qualify. He's still on the race to qualify for the next round of the Champions League. I mean, they are practically still in 4 tournaments. It's the semi-final of the EFL Cup. Is it so bad that Chelsea has to end?
Well, if you look at it, I think football is the result-oriented business. I think right now it's more about the results and what the players are playing on the pitch. Everybody wants the result, and the result have not been coming in. And like you said, a lot of things have been going on behind the scenes. I think after the Everton match, he came out there and I think they were asking him some questions, and he came out and said something about
the last 48 hours for the
I think that was giving us an explanation as to what has been going on behind the scenes. That shows that
things are not alright.
Things are not been okay. And he said the fans, he's not talking about the fans, he's not talking about the players.
So who is he talking about?
So
definitely the guys at the top.
But again, he later came out to say, oh, it's nothing that is actually happening. But then I think we've been noticing this, that okay, yes, this has been happening. And then if you look at the way and manner the club is actually being run, I think it's not something that you want to actually on the long term. You don't think it's something that will actually work. It's more like a short-term fix. You can't keep buying players and then you be selling these players at the same time as well. It's not really a long-term fix like that. So I think he wants an assurance. He wants a situation whereby you'll be the one in charge of mostly the C. You have mostly the C at Chelsea, but it feels like the managers, the owners.
Like they just buy players for him and say, you know what, we've got Garnacho for you, make it work.
Yeah.
We've got Gittins for you, make it work.
So I think it feels like the owners were the one actually in charge of everything. You know what? They had like 100% of the say. Like, it felt like he didn't have like any say at all. So I think that's what he wants a little bit more control with Chelsea team. And then the owners were not really giving that guarantee. And then it feels like, well, maybe if the owners are not giving that guarantee, they can't give me that guarantee of having the control of this team. Maybe it's time to part ways with these people. No. So it has been a successful run. I think it's the only Chelsea manager that has the highest win percentage since a very long time. So that shows he has done a lot with Chelsea. And honestly, it's really sad how their relationship ended between MARESCA and Chelsea. Honestly, it's really sad. They were having a good run, but then look at it, it's not really going to be on the long term. It's not really a good fix on the long term for Chelsea and ENZO MARESCA. I think they just have to cut their losses, and they have to.
Oh well, they just have to cut their losses. But talking about cutting their losses, well, they have signed players now who are supposed to be ENZO MARESCA players. In the summer, they went ahead and got 3 wingers.
Yeah, Garnacho,
Gittins, Estaval, 2 strikers.
Yes.
One attacking midfielder, but not even though it's on loan. Yes. But then they got an attacking midfielder. These players are supposed to be ENZO MARESCA tailored players. So what happens now? Who comes next? But before I even talk about who comes next, how would you rate the tenure of ENZO MARESCA in charge of Chelsea? I mean, he spent like what, 2 seasons?
Yeah.
Last season was first 1.5 season, basically.
Yeah.
1 full season and half, basically half a season. So 1.5 season.
He had a successful time.
How do you rate him out of 10?
I rate him 9.5 because him winning in one European one continental trophy and 1 global trophy.
And made the Champions League, whether it was top 5 or top 4, they made the Champions League.
And before then, Chelsea used Pochettino, Frank Lampard, Potter, all of those ones, they were not up to pass since Thomas Tuchel left. So Maresca coming in and winning those 2 trophies is a very big thing. It's a huge thing. So
Did Chelsea make a mistake? Because this guy is a guy that a couple of weeks ago, and according to the report, we hear that this may also be one of the problems behind the scene. We heard that Manchester City were looking at him as a possible potential replacement for Pep. If Pep decides to step down at the end of this season, if a player is or a manager is considered good enough to be a Pep Guardiola replacement, did Chelsea make a mistake to let him go?
Personally, I think they both made a mistake. Both Maresca's party and Chelsea as a team, as an organization rather. There are times in business that you have the negotiation power, and there are times in business that you don't have the negotiation power. There are some rights that I believe if Maresca wants to fight, he would have done that immediately after he won the World Cup.
When he still had a
negotiation power, that trophy just won. So, but you coming around, you coming around at this point in time when you're not really winning games. I think he lost 12 points in the Champions League from winning positions. And him coming being a title contender.
In the last 4, 5, 6, 7 games in the Premier League, I think just 1 win.
So you coming from number 2 to number 5 and still trying to prove that you are still in charge. I think there's no business owner that would want to handle that. Then that's lost negotiation power already. So him now coming during the press conference for us to talk about that the last 48 hours has been a very serious thing between him and Mourinho. It doesn't make things like that. It's an internal issue. You don't have to come to the press.
And then the last game against Bournemouth, he refused to show up for the post-match conference. At the time, they used the cover-up story that he was sick. But eventually, we heard that he was angry. And that's why. Does he have anger issues?
It's not, even if he has anger issues, I just feel.
Because how would you refuse to come for post-match conference?
I just feel he should have honored the post-match conference, regardless of what was between him and. I mean, we've seen situations whereby teams are not playing very well, and then they end up losing from winning positions, they end up losing, and then the manager still comes for the press conference. So it's not, I mean, regardless of him having anger issues or not, I just feel he should have honored the press conference, and no one will be talking about, there's something going on between Maresca and the board or at Chelsea, but him not coming to attend the press conference gave the media what they actually wanted. So the
media chewed it.
Yeah, definitely. And that was what the media wanted. He gave the media exactly what they wanted. And they took up the story from there.
All right, let's talk about what's next for Chelsea now. I mean, they have said that the under-21 coach will be in charge at the Etihad against Manchester City. That doesn't look like something that will end well. But then let's talk about Chelsea permanently. We heard that it's looking like the favorites around Chelsea hierarchy is their sister club, FC Strasbourg head coach, the senior or something like that. We also heard that there are some who feel that they could bring, I don't know if we could call him the club legend. Is it an Arsenal legend or a Chelsea legend? Cesc Fabregas, who is doing really great at home. They could bring Cesc Fabregas to Stamford Bridge. And there are also some that has mentioned Jack.
Even I had last night from.
I think Glasner will be a mistake. But so far, it feels like they are looking at young managers. So of all these young managers, maybe apart from Glasner, of course, who do you think would be rightly suited? I don't know how I feel about this Strasbourg guy from France to come and start battling with Pep Guardiola and Arteta and slot in the Premier League. It feels like it's out of his league. But then, who do you think should be the favourite to take charge at Chelsea right now?
Well, if you look for Chelsea right now, I mean, sacking your manager at this time of the period, in this period, you look at the ground now. There are no. I don't think they are.
Chelsea will play about 8 to 9 games in January.
Yes.
And this is the time you should choose to change it.
I don't think there are managers that you can really point out and say, this manager is up there when it comes in terms of quality. I think most managers right now are I just feel like they are upcoming managers. I think that was one of the reasons why United also
The Ruben Amorim of this world.
So
The manager in training.
I don't think right now there are no managers there that are finished article right there. So if them going for the Ambrose now, if you are sacking the MARESCA, who won you the conference league, who won you the club world cup, you should be going for a manager that will win you something more. Not the manager that is still learning on.
Well, he's doing well at Strasbourg.
Strasbourg is
different
from Chelsea. The one is different from the Premier League.
Yes.
He's still learning. It's more like he's still learning on the job. So you are bringing him into a team that is full of players that have won. You don't know how to win trophies. These players know how to win trophies already. They want to trophies already. Now you are bringing in a coach that he's still learning on the job and he has not really won anything. So how well can you galvanize this squad?
So maybe the rest of the season is learning the.
Yeah, learning the rules.
And then Chelsea doesn't make up.
Because I just feel everything is about risk. Now, when Chelsea was about to appoint MARESCA, who knew MARESCA? MARESCA was at Leicester start.
He was a championship manager. When he was a champion, he was a lower division. He had never coached a top team.
It was assistant to
He had never coached like head coach.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing coach was his championship.
When Arsenal recruited.
And also, sorry to cut you, Vincent Company.
Yes.
Bayern also took a risk.
Yes.
A manager who got a team relegated.
Yes.
And
but let's not forget, none of these teams sacked brought their manager halfway into the season.
I think that was recruited halfway. And that was recruited during December.
But do you look at Arsenal's mood of they try to stick with Arteta for a very long time. And look at where they are right now. If they are sticking, do you think it's what they did to MARESCA right now? They will be able to stick with them, Rosnior like that, or the manager that are bringing him halfway and it's not delivering.
Let me tell you something about Chelsea. Even if Chelsea should appoint a very big coach, like let's say the likes of Zinedine, if the person is not performing, it's a matter of 6 months. Chelsea can still sack him. Whenever Chelsea is appointed, Chelsea is not able to sack any coach. For Chelsea to come out and sack MARESCA in January 1st, believe me, there's no coach Chelsea cannot sack.
But if they are appointing a manager like his that means they will need to they won't be treating him like MARESCA.
They treated Pochettino the same way.
What Pochettino
is also
it's not his name. It's not Guardiola. It's not.
So who should be the ideal head coach?
Personally, I believe if we are considering that this guy from Strasbourg is coming from the Fahad is also coming from Cole. Let's not forget about that. Syria is also different from Premier League. And even if you ask me, when it comes to the intensity and the competitiveness,
Xavi is also coming from.
Xavi went to La Liga. I think you want.
Sam still has to laugh. When it comes to those three, I think Sam is still more experienced.
He has been in Champions League. Yeah. He knows what it means to be a title race.
Yes, and he also knows what it means to coach a big team. The demand, the pressure,
the ego,
and everything.
But let's not forget, Chelsea, the owner of Chelsea right now, they need the manager that is a yes man actually, not the manager that will be questioning.
Well, Xavi left Barcelona because he was not a yes man.
Yes, that's why.
And also I just believe, just like player recruitment, I think coaching recruitment is also very, very paramount now. Look at the system at Brighton and Hove Albion. There's no coach that will come to that team that won't maintain that system. Look at, I don't know where they always get their coach from. We don't know Tizabi. We never knew Tizabi. We never knew Graham Potter. We never knew this Osler guy. So, and if you look at the systems, it's still there. So I don't know.
United to change their system.
So I think Chelsea should just calm. Looking at Fabregas is also playing a similar football.
So who should?
I believe Fabregas. Not because he's my guy, but I think Fabregas.
I hope Arsenal fans will be happy about that. Fahad, who should be the guy?
We don't say that, though. I feel Fabregas. If Como don't want to be Fabregas,
we don't. Inter Milan wanted Fabregas, Como blocked it. So I don't know if Chelsea will fail where. We don't know if Chelsea will succeed where Inter Milan failed.
I think that's why this Strasbourg guy is the favorite.
So I think the favorite right now has to be the coach of Strasbourg. Yeah, so I think right now he's the favourite, and if he's the favourite, so he's not.
And finally, what's next for Maresca? I mean, does he wait for that Manchester City job? There's also talks that if Amorim is fired, soon, as I suspect he will be. If Amorim is fired very soon. That's
Maresca is very good.
I know something for sure. Number one, Maresca won't be long before he gets a new job. And I'm seeing him coming out of Premier League because opposition team, rival team, want to capitalize on his grudge against Chelsea.
What opposition team are talking about? Wait. Because
like your team.
No, they cover the because Arsenal has a coach.
We have the best coach.
Liverpool has a coach.
That's not.
Say Man U with your chest.
Man U no coach. Tottenham Hotspur. Having the shoot.
You don't think he will go to Tottenham? Tottenham looks messed up, right?
I don't think he wants to go to Tottenham.
Just
Tottenham is a step down.
I don't think just was at the mess when they came. I don't think just was the mess. I don't think was the step down. Yeah, I don't think was the mess. But
then we keep our fingers crossed. Well, that's what the love journey between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea has just come to an end. Who's next at Stamford Bridge? Well, I guess in the next couple of days we'll get to find out.